Okay, this is a tutorial for my fingerstyle arrangement of Pink Floyd Pigs, 3 different ones. It's obviously a great song, and I wish I could do justice to Dogs, because it's even a better song if that's possible, but not at this time anyway. So I doing some different stuff with the cameras. I have my iPhone taking the main video, and my good camera, hopefully it's good, is on the headstock mount. So hopefully the right hand view will be clearer and easier to see. I guess we'll see. So time to get tuned. This is in standard tuning. So here we go. Tune that thing. 6th. 5th. 4th. 3rd. 2nd. 1st. Okay, so there's 3 basic parts to this song: the intro, a verse, I guess you'd call it a verse, and a chorus, I guess you'd call it a chorus, and the this little interlude where the pigs are squealing in the background. So the intro. The intro is done. Obviously, it's not guitar; it's keyboard, and then it's guitar and some bass guitar. So this is a cool one in that you can. That's the cool thing about doing this fingerstyle stuff, is that just because it's not a guitar part doesn't mean you can't do it. Doesn't mean you can't do it justice. I think this intro comes out really cool, and it's actually quite easy. So you have 2 things going on in the intro. Really, is the high keyboard line. Sorry. I'm so used to playing everything together that sometimes I just vapor lock when it comes to playing just one of the parts at a time. So I'm going to have to play both just to get some bearings. There it is. That is that little high keyboard line. It's all on the 1st string. 0, 2, 3. 2, 0, 2, 3. And under it, you're gonna play an open 6th string E, and then simply you're gonna change the bass note to a C, 3rd fret 5th string. That's that part entirely. The only difference is embellishment that I like to do is a little. So when I play that open E, sorry, I sometimes play the 2nd string with it. And so the embellishment that I was referring to is this hammer-on pull-off combo. 2, 3, 2, hammer on, pull off, hammer on the 3, pull off to the 2, and then pull off to the open. I wouldn't do it over and over again. It's like sometimes there's too much of a good thing. So then that does that a few times. that little thing, which is the Gilmour's echoed, that echoed guitar part that he does, and it's kind of answered by Waters doing that thing. So what we can do here is what I do is I do a little E5 power chord. This is in a different spot. It's not your, or this one. It's actually these notes transposed to upper string. So that bass line is on the 4th string, 4, 5, 7, 4, O. So you got a little E5 power chord, C chord. So I kind of do something to try to emulate that echo by repeating that chord in that choppy kind of sound, maybe a little bit, and hit it a little softer as you go, again to simulate that echo. E power chord, bass fill, C. That's pretty much that entire intro. Here's another cool thing, is this, you can kind of take a lot of your right hand cues from the drum fills or rolls that are going on. It usually happens this for some reason, well, not for some reason, but because it makes sense, but a lot of times the end of a phrase is where they do this little drum roll, and it if you can play your guitar notes in accompaniment with that drum roll, it's you're paying respect to that drum beat, and you're bringing that into the arrangement, which is cool. So if you do that right at the end of that right into the verse, which is, so the thing is, on the 5th string it's 3 2 0, then 2 0, and then 3 on the 6th string. Break right into the verse. So what's cool about that is, here we got one little intro. You've actually played the guitar part, the keyboard part, the bass part, and then you didn't play the drum part, but you played your guitar notes on that drum part. So you've paid respect to all 4 instruments already, and a relatively simple intro, which is cool. I mean, I think that's probably why you're here, is that you want to break out from just, strumming open chords and being, no offense, but it can be extremely boring. And that's why, I don't know about you, but that's why I love fingerstyle, is that you can, you're doing so much more. Enough about that. That's the intro. We're gonna land. So the verse is the part, the big man, pig man, haha, charade you are part. I usually get the lyrics wrong. I'm not great with lyrics, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about. That big man, pig man, whatever he says there, that can all be done with 2 chord shapes, and they're both based off your basic open E minor chord. We're going to take the pinky and put it down on the G note, so you have this, which is still an E minor chord. And then you're going to swap this pinky note out, which is the 3rd fret on the 1st string. You're going to swap that for the 2nd fret on the 1st string. And those are the 2 chord shapes that you can do. I'm playing the bottom part of the E minor chord with the thumb, and then I'm doing the top part with an upstroke of the 1st finger. Switch. Pretty simple. C. That's the charade you are part, the C. We're going to add this D note to that C chord. 3rd fret, 2nd string. Open 1st fret, open 1st string. Back to that D note. going to switch to the G chord, which is played a little bit differently. It seems like it happens a lot this way. You play it right like this, and you're going to, if you notice that D note, that pinky is still, that's the melody note from the previous line, and we're going to land on that. So that's Charade, you are. So we have take the pinky note off and expose that for, second string open. At the end of that little phrase, you're going to do a G, F sharp. It's a little down climb, very common. Third on the 6th string, 3rd fret and 2nd fret, back to the E minor. So here it is again. C, pinky, open, pinky, altered D chord. Well, it's a G chord, but it's just played different. Throw in one quick D5 chord. Again, it's one of those cases where we're not going to play the first string on the first string on the D chord. You can play it, but for some reason it just doesn't sound right. You radiate cold shafts of broken glass. All out of a C chord. Again, it's that pinky. Your melody notes are this pinky on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, the open 1st string, and the 3rd fret on the 1st string. You radiate cold shafts of broken glass. So that's really a relatively simple line. What you're doing is you're going to do that with the pinky. And the pinky's the only finger you really have to add, but you're going to do that while holding the C chord down. And then glass is a standard G chord. And then you do that down climb again to the E minor. When your hand is on your heart, same thing with the C, adding that pinky in the open and the 3rd fret on the 2nd and the 1st string. That's pretty much that whole thing. Then you're going to do another little transition, which is on the 6th string, 3, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to go right into an E5 chord, which is the, I don't know, I guess you'd call it the chorus. This is definitely a different part of the song. So that's the intro. I forgot to say the tabs are available for this. They're in the description. And as always, there's also a link or an annotation in this video. You can click and watch my original version of it. To kind of compare. You might notice the tailor that I played in that video, and you may not, if you watch a lot of my videos, you may see that I haven't used that tailor in a long while. This is why. A little tiny cat did that, just knocked it over. It very gently fell, landed right on the carpet, and the neck snapped right off at the heel. So cats are dangerous. So now this is the part where you're really a good man, or whatever he says. That's going to be all based out of an A5 type of chord or an A minor chord, depends on how you want to look at it, but it's really these fingers are the important ones. So you're gonna, again, it's a pretty common theme with fingerstyle, is that you're going to hold down as much of the bottom end of a chord down, and manipulate your first finger and your pinky or whatever fingers you have left from doing that to do the melody. This one, you're doing your melody notes are second and open on the third string and first fret on the second string. All tight lips and cold feet, and do you feel the blues? It's those three notes, just very slight deviations. You're going to do that while holding down as much of this A5 chord as you can. So that's that, but in between each one of those is a G and a G sharp, which is the third fret on the sixth and the fourth fret on the sixth. That's the and do you feel abused? E minor. Again, I wouldn't play the first string on the E minor, just the, you can play the sixth and the third and the second, or 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, but just stop at the second string. And then there's this it's a little E minor chord up here. And then you're going to add an A here, which is the pinky, on the 10th fret of the second string. And you're going to the other melody note after that is the, you already have it down, it's the first finger on the 7th fret of the first string. Pinky again. And then we're going to land onto this different version of a C chord right here. So that E minor thing again is... And then you're going to do the second fret while holding down the bottom of the C chord, second fret on the first string, and then open first. Into that, so you have back to I think in my video I did this kind of E power chord here. D, back to that E. So those, it's really a muting kind of thing. Some people call them chukka-chukkas. You probably know how to do that, but if you don't, it's you're resting your hands, your left hand across the strings here. You're not pressing down onto the frets, because then you get notes. You're just resting enough to deaden the string. If you don't rest hard enough, the opens ring. If you rest too hard, you fret. So it's right in between. And you can kind of get different sounds depending on where you, it's called muting, where you do it. But in that part, I'm just kind of answering the E5 chord with the D. Again, that's a D5 chord. I wouldn't do a full D chord. This doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound wrong. That D note, that F sharp note, doesn't necessarily not fit into the key. It's just kind of hard to put into words. It's just it's added. It's something you don't really need in there, and it just, I don't know, sounds too official. Again, it's a case where we're a 5 chord, not always, but a 5 chord. A 5 chord is a power chord. A 5 chord is not major or minor. The note that makes it major or minor is left out. So there's a they're very common in hard rock and metal, but they get used all over the place. Back into that verse, which is the E minor. Those are the 3 parts with vocals, And that's pretty much it. Then comes the interlude, which is relatively simple. It's another one of those cool parts that's relatively easy to play, and it's my favorite part of the whole song. It's dyads, two notes. It's a 2-note thing. You're gonna play this E minor dyad and a D major dyad. With the open 6th string under it. Pretty easy. Then the other half of that is the same, similar kind of thing, with this C note going under it, the 3rd fret on the 5th string. In this case, your dyads are a C major and a B flat major. Doing that with this C note, again, this 3rd fret on the 5th string under it. So this one's a little trickier. That part's not too hard. You can use 2 fingers to do that C major dyad, or you can use 1 finger and bar across them. Getting the B flat dyad and the C to ring at the same time, you can do with 1 finger. You almost have to. But it takes some strength to bar that. Definitely, find how it works. You usually have to tuck your elbow into your body to get that bar to work. See how whenever I go to take this finger off to go to that bar, my elbow, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but my elbow goes in. So that's that part. The only alteration he does is Gilmore. I don't know how many times he does it. He that C major, he gives that a nice bend. I'm playing obviously on a nylon string. Bending, it's hard to bend on a nylon, but if you do that on a steel string, that can sound pretty cool. B5 power chord, or B power chord. And then back to the intro. Those are the parts. That's really the entire song. So again, the link to the tab is below in the video description. You should be able to click right on the video here and go to the original song that I played if you want to really see how it works together in its entirety. And I think that's it. Thanks for watching.